Hey everyone, Lucas here. I've got some time to kill right now, so I thought I'd read some more journal excerpts. Now, you're gonna like this, that's a good one. Once again, I present to you a case file from the journals of Norman Carter. August 24th, 1955. Just found a big story in the papers. Some family down in Kentucky says that an army of little green men attacked their farmhouse 3 nights back. Got into a firefight and everything. Doesn't really sound like anything I've ever seen, but I think it's best to get down there and check things out before OS gets wind of it. August 25th. Made it to Hopkinsville. Witnesses are all family, so finding them should be easy enough. And another one from the 25th. Witnesses and statements. Glennie Langford, matriarch. She heard the creatures stomping around on the roof at 8 in the evening. That's when one of her sons saw the creatures outside and they all started shooting. She remembers being terrified, but not much else. Glennie's son, J.C. Sutton, says he never got a good look at the creatures. J.C.'s wife, Aline Sutton, claims she couldn't see anything. Glennie's 3 younger kids were there too, but everyone says they all spent the night hiding under their beds and didn't see anything. Figured it was best not to make them relive that. Unfortunately, the only folks present who actually got a good look at the monsters weren't at the farmhouse while I was there. Apparently they're carnies and were just visiting their family while they're in town. I went to visit the carnival after the farmhouse, but I couldn't get any statements. It seems that they spend their nights working and drinking, and then sleep it off during the day. Looks like I'll have to go back later tonight once the carnival opens for business. August 26th. Made it to the carnival last night. Trying to find the most coherent carny was like finding a needle in a haystack. But I finally managed to track down the rest of the witnesses for their statements. Glennie's son and JC's brother, Lucky Sutton. He was already drunk as a skunk when I found him, but he says he got a good look at them. Said they weren't too big, maybe 2 or 3 feet tall, and silver. They had long arms, pointy ears, and big yellow eyes. Lucky's wife, Vera Sutton, she says she definitely saw them, but she can't remember what they look like. Lucky's friend, Billy Ray Taylor, he says the whole thing started earlier in the night, closer to 7 p.m. He was outside getting water from the farmhouse well when he saw a UFO come down. He said it was a fast-moving, bright light that came down from the sky and landed way out over the tree line. About an hour later is when they started attacking the farmhouse. He and Lucky grabbed their guns to defend the house. Wouldn't really call this a firefight, seeing as how they mostly fired pot shots out into the dark. Now, Billy Ray says the creatures were bulletproof, which is certainly possible, but I'm thinking they probably just didn't hit anything. Overall, his description matched Lucky's, but he also said they had huge claws. They even reached through the window and grabbed him by the hair at one point, apparently. Billy Ray's wife, June Taylor. She said she was too scared to even look and didn't see a thing. And that accounts for everyone at the house that night. Now, as soon as the creatures stopped attacking, they all ran to one of their trucks and drove to the police station. The next morning, they had police, state troopers, even MPs searching the area. They didn't find anything except a bullet-ridden farmhouse, and that's where the story ends. Some experts are claiming they just saw some owls, but most of the witnesses didn't actually see anything, or they don't remember what they saw. It sounds like the fog to me. And then there's Lucky and Billy Ray. Given that they're carnies, I've got a feeling they know weird when they see it. So I'll be staying in town to investigate. Even though these things are most likely monsters, I've got no clue what kind they could be. The descriptions don't match anything I've ever seen, and there aren't any local legends that I could find. Everyone keeps calling them aliens, but I don't know about that. Billy Ray was adamant that the UFO he saw was their spaceship coming to Earth, but I've got a feeling he might be embellishing. He seems to like all the attention. Besides, aliens? I know I should keep an open mind. I've seen more than most people, but I don't know. Monsters are one thing. I think space aliens is where I draw the line. August 27th. Went out to investigate today. Billy Ray said they landed a rocket ship before the attack, so that was what I looked for first. If any spaceship landed in these woods, it did so without leaving a trace. No flattened grass, no scorch marks. Alien is looking increasingly less likely, so unless I see any more evidence to the contrary, I will continue looking for a normal Earth monster. August 28th. Went out again today. Nothing. August 29th. Ditto. August 30th. Big break today. J.C. Sutton showed up at the door of my motel room this morning. Early. He just left and it's almost 4:30 a.m. After I got up and opened the door, he said that he had something in his pickup to show me. It was a damn baby monster. He told me that Lucky and Billy Ray found it out in the woods and brought it home. They thought it would make a neat pet, or maybe a good attraction for the sideshow. Lucky convinced JC to keep it at the farmhouse. He says the monsters are still stalking the house, and the attacks are only getting worse. Most of the family took off. He's the only one still staying in the house right now and said he couldn't take it anymore. He was worried for the kids. So he decided to come clean and bring it to me. I got out my map and he showed me whereabouts they said they found it. I'm gonna try bringing it back to its family once the sun comes up. And the last entry is also from August 30th. That went about as well as I could have hoped. I brought the baby monster with me into the woods, going where JC had shown me. I reached the area and almost immediately I was surrounded. They dropped from the trees all around me. They looked sort of like monkeys, but not any kind of monkey I've ever seen. 12 pairs of eyes all stared at me, unblinking. Now, I don't know if my sixth sense works both ways, and I still don't know if this did anything, but I tried to send out the most peaceful, non-threatening thoughts that I could. I placed the baby on the ground gently and stepped back. Cautiously, one of the monsters stepped forward and picked it up. Then in a flash, they returned back up into the trees. I left the woods and paid one more visit to Lucky and Billy Ray. I suggested that maybe they don't go wandering off into the woods anymore. Maybe their carnival packs up and leaves town a few days early. I don't know about Billy Ray, but Lucky seemed ashamed, and he agreed that that would be best. I'm inclined to believe him. Looks like I'm done here. Wow. Very cool. And one that I'm definitely familiar with. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, known more commonly as just the Hopkinsville Goblins, it's a big case. I can't believe Norman was actually there. Now, he called it a monkey, and his sketch of the creature does resemble something like a bush baby or maybe a tarsier? Tarsier? I don't know. Just like the report said, it's got long, skinny limbs and these big eyes. They also have these really pronounced, I guess they're ears? I have to admit, though, I'm a little disappointed that they weren't actually aliens. Oh well, maybe someday. A guy can dream.
The Cryptid Cases has been a production of Little Giant Monsters.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on iTunes or tell a friend. It really helps others find the show.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, search for Little Giant Monsters on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can also visit our website, littlegiantmonsters.com.
Check out any of these pages to see other projects we're working on, as well as a new Cryptid sketch every Monday after the new episode.
Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.